Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golem F. Michael Fletcher alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio. And Anthony, we're just going to dive right on in. We're going to start it off with NXT, and we will start it off with the first fight of the night, which was Indashir. Veer Mahan. It is Veer Mahan and Sangha, along with Jinder Mahal. They went up against the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius, of course, Ivy Nile in their corner. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 9 minutes and 57 seconds was Indashir. And look, I'm going to say it. It was a solid opener, good match, good wrestling. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a true be a man fight, hard hitting, brutal action, something that you would expect from these four men. And there was a little bit of a moment where at the end there was a little miscommunication, and unfortunately Ivy Nile got ducked, went flying right into the announce table. Well, didn't go into the announce table, but crashed right on the bottom part of the announce table. But it gave them enough of a momentum for that to end the match and to give Indashir the victory on this one. So yeah, really nothing more to add. Anthony Florio, solid opener. Indashir winning the match in 9 minutes and 57 seconds in what I believe is about a 3-star bout.
Agreed. 3 to 3.25 stars. This was a solid tag team match that felt like it could have gone longer. The two teams fought hard, and the Creeds adapt well to any challenger. Indashir needed to win this. The Creed brothers will likely get the win back before it's over, but Sangha and Veer Mahan could not afford to lose this return match. The Ivy Nile bump near the end was silly, making her look frail when she has been established as one of the toughest women in NXT. Hopefully, she gets some revenge before this is over, working as more than just a damsel here. Brutus planted Veer with a German suplex and then hit a standing senton, followed by Julius connecting with a standing shooting star press for a near fall. Julius pulled out an impressive gut-wrench powerbomb on Veer, deadlifting the big man even after partially losing his grip. 3 to 3.25 stars. Solid way to start it off, so not much more for me to say. So let's give it now to Mr. NXT himself, the Phenom, Michael Bullock. It's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, 3.25. I do agree. I mean, this was definitely a solid way to start it off. I mean, the match could have gone a little longer, but great work by both men. I mean, the turning point in the match was when Ivy Nile, when she got bumped and hit the bottom of the announce table. So, and Indashir basically took advantage of it, and that's how they got the victory over the Creed. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. So let's move right along, Fletch.
All right, indeed. And the next thing that we did have was Zoe Stark going one-on-one with Indy Hartwell. Zoe Stark wins the match in 6 minutes and 16 seconds. After the match, Zoe tried to get a little bit of an upper hand to try to beat up on Indy Hartwell. Well, Soroka was like, I ain't having that. Get the hell out of the ring. Zoe basically ducked and ran after that. So, Anthony, it looks like Soroka definitely is going to have a little bit of a situation, but it's more than anything else. We'll wait and see how it plays out. So, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours. So,
Two and a half to 2.75 of a star. While indie wrestling can be inconsistent in the ring, she is showing signs of improvement. This was better than any match these two have had previously, and it looked like they had found their chemistry. And it was definitely the best move for Zoe Stark to win this, because I feel that she is the best option to challenge Roxanne Perez after Vengeance Day. And NXT must build Zoe Stark up as a worthy challenger. Hartwell and Stark confronted each other backstage to set up this match, and Zoe Stark made it clear that she did not injure Nikita Lyons last week. Indie Wrestling hit a series of clotheslines into a spine buster for a near fall, and the first two matches of the show were commercial free, making for much more exciting and complete battles. So kudos to NXT for that. So 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star here. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, I think Zoe Stark would be a fine possible next challenger should Roxanne Perez get past Vengeance Day, Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see Zoe Stark as the next challenger for Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's title. If Roxanne Perez can get past Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, but we'll wait and see. But 2.5 stars. I mean, it was a fine match. I mean, but obviously Zoe Stark going over was definitely no problem. And yeah, I mean, Zoe Stark tried to beat up on Indy Hartwell some more, but Sal Roca basically wasn't having it. And yeah, like you said, this whole match started because, I mean, so many people were claiming that it was her that injured Nikita Lyons. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that she did do it, but you got to at least have her as a suspect because of her hatred for Nikita Lyons, and she was the one that attacked Nikita Lyons that started the heel turn for her. So I'm not saying she did do it, but you gotta at least put her as a suspect. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Well, I'll go as far as say that I think right now, Zoe Stark is definitely the prime suspect in the Nikita Lyons attack. But as eloquently done by Mackenzie Mitchell last night on NXT, there's a number of people that needs to be looked at that could have done it. Obviously, we can go down the list on another day, but the one that really kind of knows, I think, is Wendy Chu, and you also got to keep a close eye on Tiffany Stratton. Did she have something to do with it? Even though she kind of gave a look like I don't care, but like I said, there was at least, if you saw the video, there was at least a good 8 to 10 women that was there. So I mean, you can go a number of ways with this. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. But that was one thing that was talked about more than anything else. So right after that, then we had a promo segment. This actually ended up being a 2-for-1. So it started out with Carmelo Hayes cutting a promo, and then it was interrupted. Well, I should say Wes Lee cutting a promo. Sorry, Wes Lee. And he gets interrupted by Donovan Dijak. And then the next thing that came out was Von Wagner with Mr. Robert Stone. And Wagner and Dijak started getting into it, and it actually led to a one-on-one match. Donovan Dijak versus Von Wagner. Dijak wins the match in 8 minutes and 41 seconds. Michael Bullock, I give it to you, my friend. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a solid match here. I'll give this about maybe another 2.5 stars. I mean, this definitely gives Dijak some momentum going into his North American title match against Wes Lee. So we'll wait and see what happens. So Fletch, it's yours, and Dijak definitely gets some momentum going into his North American title match.
Major momentum for him, and a lot of people, even though I think Wes Lee could win it, I would not be surprised if Dijak does win it. And oh, by the way, if you guys are wondering, Saturday night we will have, Friday night on Cerebral Smack Talk, we will have a preview of NXT Vengeance Day, because that is going down this Saturday night from Charlotte, North Carolina at, I believe it's now, is it still called the Time Warner? Well, they changed the name so many times. I know it used to be called the Time Warner Arena.
It's the Spectrum Center.
Now it's the Spectrum Center. That's why I was waiting, because I know it was formerly known as the Time Warner Arena, but now it's the Spectrum Center. That will be going down this Saturday night from Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Queen Cities, and it is the North American title on the line. So we'll see how that plays out. Like you said, 2.5 stars, solid battle. Anthony, I give it to you.
I'll go as far as to call this the sleeper fight of the night. 2 3/4, teetering on 3 stars. I mean, Dijak brought something out of Von Wagner that fans have rarely seen. This was an exciting clash of big men that made both look better coming out of the bout, and it made up for the bad promo segment that preceded, as it looks more likely than ever that Wagner will head to the main roster soon. Performances like this solidify his value. And meanwhile, the former T-Bar continues to rehabilitate his image and could possibly dethrone Wes Lee as the NXT North American champion on Saturday night. And Wagner started his promo by telling Dijak to take off his sunglasses inside, and then Wagner planted Dijak with a double underhook facebuster off the second rope. And then late in the night, Stone begged Wagner to let him know more about him so that they can help each other reach the next level. So that's all I can really say here. Pleasant surprise. I did not think this was going to be anything special because, you know, when you put 2 big men in there, that usually doesn't end well. But this time around, pleasant surprise. 2 3/4, teetering on 3 stars. I got to be honest with you, and I'll go as far once again to call it sleeper fight of the night. I did not think this was going to be anything good, but MF, you better than anybody, even more than Bullock. You know, I do not impress easy. You know that.
Absolutely. And this one definitely did. And speaking of fight of the nights, that's what we had with this next match. It was Tyler Bate going one-on-one with Axiom. And when it was all said and done, Tyler Bate wins the match in 10 minutes and 6 seconds. I'm going to say this. I wish the match went a little longer, but for what it was worth, this is Anthony Florio's and Michael Bullock's dream fight here. A technical masterclass by Axiom and by Tyler Bate. This was a great matchup. Tremendous wrestling. 3.5 stars. Fight of the night for me. Anthony Florio. After this match, I in the back of my mind, I was thinking you were giving this one a standing ovation because this was right down your alley, man. This was tremendous technical wrestling.
Hallelujah to that, MF. No doubt about it. 3.5 stars. I 100% agree with everything you just said here. Sometimes a match just works because the 2 men are too good to fail. This was the closest Axiom has gotten to his series with Nathan Frazier in NXT. The 2 had chemistry to spare in a fun competition. With the right story and bigger stakes, these 2 can do so much more. They can build the drama while still keeping that same impressive chemistry. And adding Damon Kemp into the mix for now is smart, as he can learn so much from working with both guys. Tyler Bate and Axiom reminisced over the history of Bate and A-Kid in NXT UK and wanted to create a new moment in NXT. And then Damon Kemp interrupted and talked down both men. Tyler Bate went for the Tyler Driver 97, but Axiom turned it into a takedown pinfall, followed by a head scissors for another near fall. Absolutely fantastic technical wrestling here, scientific, throwing a little bit of some aerial stuff here. No doubt about it. Fight of the night for me as well. 3.5 stars, no doubt about it. And Michael Bullock, the moment when I heard that this match was official, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to steal the dang show. And you better call your little NXT security there, buddy, because them boys stole the dang show last night.
Oh, they did. And when you had the quality of Tyler Bate and Axiom in this, you know that this was going to be something really good. And that's what these 2 certainly delivered on NXT. So, yeah, without a doubt, fight of the night, 3.5 stars. I mean, kudos to both men. I mean, they definitely really they put on a really good match that every wrestling fan can enjoy, and that's what we got here. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right, it was Stevie Turner finally making her debut on the NXT stage, going up against Danny Palmer. Stevie Turner wins the match in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. We're not going to talk about that one. What we are going to talk about another Be a Man fight, as it was Drew Gulak going up against Charlie Dempsey, and it was Drew Gulak winning the match in 8 minutes and 41 seconds. Anthony Florio, back-to-back Be a Men fight, and this one was a little bit of a hard-hitting knockdown drag-out battle, but Drew Gulak gets a big win over Charlie Dempsey.
That he did, MF, and I got to give this 3 stars. This was a solid bout, though a lack of hype and drama let down what should have been a big match. After a couple of months of build, this could have felt like a special contest instead of something just good. At every turn, Drew Gulak has shown he does not value the safety of his own students. This trend continued as Hank Walker took an unnecessary shot for a cheap win. And NXT is building a really interesting bout down the road between Gulak and Walker. Gulak bashed the arm of Charlie Dempsey with an axe handle, followed by a lariat near fall, and then Dempsey went after the knee of Gulak using leg twists and bars. But another solid wrestling match here. No question about that. This was a solid 3. So no doubt about that. So Michael Bullock, how about it? Drew Gulak actually wins a match. It's been a long time since he's won one that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Drew Gulak. I mean, him winning a match in a long time. I mean, I can't remember the last time he even won a match. So yeah. What was the time of the fall?
I had, let me see, 8 minutes and 41 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give this about 2.5 to 3. I mean, just based on the fact that Drew Gulak finally getting a win for the first time in who knows how long. So, yeah, so it's yours, Fletch.
About 2.5. Agreed with that. I thought it was a solid match. A good battle, good back and forth. I'm surprised with you guys. Drew Gulak getting the big win, so that leads us into the main event of the evening, as this was a triple threat match that would decide the final team that would be a part of the tag team title match for Vengeance Day. We had the Dyad, Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler, Idris Analfi and Malik Blade, and we also had Andre Chase and Duke Hudson representing Chase U. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout, 10 minutes and 36 seconds, was indeed Chase U winning the match. And now they get to join Pretty Deadly, Gallus, and of course, the New Day as they get a shot at the NXT World Tag Team titles. That match will be this Saturday night as part of Vengeance Day. Again, another programming reminder, guys. We will be previewing that on Friday night as part of Cerebral Smack Talk. So with that said, Michael Bullock, it's all yours, my friend. As it was Chase U winning it in 10:36.
3.25 is my rating for this. I mean, but yeah. I mean, another solid match, another good battle here, and without a doubt, the biggest win for Andre Chase and Duke Hudson right now. But it could lead to a bigger win come Saturday at Takeover, or should I say Vengeance Day, and because now they get to join Gallus, Pretty Deadly, and the New Day as they fight for the tag team title. So 3.25 is my rating. Fletch, without a doubt, the biggest win for for Andre Chase and Duke Hudson.
Yeah, and for 1 week, they're actually on the same page. I know Duke Hudson's been I should say, I know Andre Chase has been very skeptical of Duke Hudson and his commitment to Chase U. But, for once they were on the same page. They got a big victory here. So now they move on. And like the New Day said, they get an opportunity at the titles. And it looks like they get a lot of love from the New Day. It seems like they do get the respect. Not as much as they get from Pretty Deadly. They don't really care for them much. I don't care for them much. But the one team that I really think is the ultimate wild card here, and the one team that could possibly upend a New Day, would be Gallus. Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, I really, really think they have a really good shot at this, and they could be the next NXT Tag Team Champions. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Um, and with that said, yeah, I'll say 3 stars. And I'll say second best fight of the night. I thought this was second best fight of the night. Florio, what's yours?
3.25 stars for me. This was a fun ending to the show. Everyone involved was game to make the most of the moment. It looked like the Dyad would finally pick up a big win, but Chase U rode a hot streak to a surprise win. NXT has some exciting tag teams in this division, and the New Day's presence has elevated the competition. It is likely Kofi and Xavier will lose the titles at Vengeance Day, but they have done wonders in a short run. The best bet for me, and I know MF will agree with me on this, is for Gallus to take the tag team titles. But Chase U could be the next champions as well, riding momentum and the strongest slow build story in NXT. And Reed and Chase hit a powerbomb backstabber combination on Chase for a near fall. Blade and Inafi hit a frog splash and diving elbow on Reed, and then a rolling neck breaker to nearly get the win before everyone else broke it up. And then Chase planted Reed, Fowler, and Inafi with a Tower of Doom bomb, and then got distracted by Ava Rain until Thea Hale took her out. That could be a future match down the road. And there isn't really much more left to say. 3.25, you could certainly make an argument for 3.5. You could certainly make fight of the night argument, but I kind of felt that Tyler Bate Axiom was just a smidge better, but this was good too. So not much more here. 3.25, 3.5. So overall review time, I believe
7.5 to close to 8. I'd say 7.5, 7.75 for this NXT show. This was really well done. Obviously, first half had that no commercial thing that was really good. Then there was a little part of the show where it kind of lost its way a little bit, but then you had some really good matches. You had the Tyler Bate Axiom fight of the night. You had a really good with Drew Gulak versus Charlie Dempsey was actually good. The main event was actually done really well. So once you got into that part, everything started molding, coming together, and it was looking amazing. So one of the better NXTs, a very good go-home show, heading into the Vengeance Day, which is indeed going down this Saturday night. Nothing more to say, Anthony. This is I thought this was one of the better NXT shows. 7.5 to 7.75.
7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me, MF. Very well done show indeed. I usually don't look forward to NXT on Tuesday nights, to be honest, because I feel it's the weakest of all the weekly wrestling shows that are on every night the week. But I got to be honest, this was actually an enjoyable show. I mean, we didn't have the 4 or 5 blech matches that we usually get on average on a show. I think with this being a go-home show for their biggest event in a long time in Vengeance Day, they obviously put the work in. They put the effort in last night, gave us several very good, solid to good to great matches. And what do we only have, like one bad match? And that was Stevie Turner's squash. But other than that, I mean, all the other matches were solid to good to great and some good storyline progression. We got a whodunit angle when it comes to Nikita Lyons. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe NXT is starting to take a step in that right direction here after all the months we've spent bashing it, especially me. So So Bullock, all I can say is take a bow, my friend. What a show. 7.5 to 8. Great go-home show and huge momentum going into the biggest NXT show probably since last year's Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, 7.5 to 8. I mean, I thought this was a really good show. I mean, definitely because, like you said, this was the go home to Vengeance Day, and they wanted to put on a good show that's going to get people to want to watch it, and who knows, maybe people will be watching it. So, and hopefully that this will be the turnaround. But we'll wait and see on that. So 7.5 to 8 for me. So there's really nothing more to say except Fletch. Let's get into tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite.
Yes, indeed. And we were at the University of Wright State in Dayton, Ohio. And here we go. So we started it off with a banger. Jon Moxley versus Adam Hangman Page. When it was all said and done, Moxley winning the match in 16 minutes and 40 seconds. Amazing opener, to say the very least. This had, like, if you want to talk about a battle or a war or a fight, this had everything, man. There was blood, there was action, there was hard hitting, there was, battle inside the ring, outside the ring. They absolutely tried to destroy each other, and they did it. Moxley getting a big win here, but it felt like a tainted win because right after the match was over, those two guys went right at it again. It wasn't until the Blackpool Combat Club came out and basically tried to say, "Yo, it's over, cut the crap." But Moxley wasn't having it. He wanted more of Hangman Page, and Hangman wasn't having it. He wanted more of Moxley. Even though cooler heads prevailed on this one, I don't know. I don't know if that was a botch. I don't know if that was storyline, but you could definitely tell there was some genuine heat between the two men after that match was over. There was some FU, some middle fingers flying. There was some slapping of each other's faces. So, I mean, thank God for Claudio Castagnoli and for Wheeler Yuta to try to play peacemaker, because I'm honestly going to say it, because neither man kind of wanted to be peacemaker in that situation. So who knows? But Anthony Florio, fight of the night. I'm going to say it. Probably one of the fights of the night. This was 4 right out of the gate. So it's yours.
4 to 4.25 stars for me. From the explosive pre-match brawl to the incredible physicality that ensued once the bell rang, this felt very much like a grudge match between two guys who do not like each other. The occasional overconfidence of Hangman and the toughness on display by the bloody Jon Moxley helped define the show stealing, but it was the finish that saw the unhinged anti-hero out-wrestle Hangman that played up the Blackpool Combat Club influence. The hostility between the competitors suggests this feud is not over, and that's not a bad thing. Oh no, that is a good thing. And given the brief interaction between Hangman and Claudio Castagnoli, giving us that match before going back to Hangman and Moxley would make for a hell of a stopgap. Absolutely. And you noticed, Jon Moxley's father joined Wheeler Yuta in accompanying his son to the ring. Moxley attacked Hangman prior to the bell, fighting him into the crowd where he applied a figure 4 leg lock. Hangman launched the steel chair at Moxley, who, you guessed it, bled. Hangman threw Moxley face first on the turnbuckle, which sent him crashing to the arena floor. A defiant Mox refused to stay down, fired up, and mounted a comeback that saw him shrug off a German suplex and answer with a back body drop. Hangman delivered a pop-up powerbomb to Moxley through the timekeeper's table, and Hangman applied Moxley's own bulldog choke to him. Spoiler alert, it did not work. 4 to 4.25 stars. You can most certainly make an argument for Fight of the Night, although there is another match on this show that was just as amazing. So we'll figure out which way we'll go on that. But for right now, 4 to 4.25 stars. Definitely up there as far as Fight of the Night is concerned. So not much more for me to say. Michael Bullock, what a match.
Yeah, definitely. What a match. What a way to start off this edition of Dynamite. I mean, 4.25. What can you say? I mean, you knew that this was going to be something really good when these two get in there, and it delivered. I mean, you could just tell the real life hatred between John Moxley and Adam Hangman Page. I mean, there was a lot of slaps, there were a lot of middle fingers, a lot of FUs to each of them. I mean, yeah, I mean, they wanted to freaking tear each other apart. I mean, it took Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta to get John Moxley out of there because I'll say this, Fletch, it doesn't take much to piss off John Moxley.
Oh no.
Yeah, you get on John Moxley's bad side, it's not gonna end well. And I'll just say it, I'm not gonna get on John Moxley's bad side because the last thing I want to do is piss off that bastard. No way in hell. Yeah, so great work by both men, and yeah, 4.25. Definitely right up there as one of the fights of the night. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right. Now we had a match that really we're not going to talk about much about because it was kind of more of the promo. So it was the Acclaim. They went up against two local wrestlers. The Acclaim wins in 55 seconds. But then the Guns, Colton and Austin came out and they challenged the Acclaim for a World Tag Team title fight. But the Acclaim said no. But then Billy Gunn was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with the BS. I'm done with you guys. I'm getting out of here. The Guns then started throwing hay at their father, and it actually worked because it provoked him enough that he accepted the tag team title fight on the behalf of the Acclaim. So Max Caster and Anthony Bowens are now going to have to defend the AEW World Tag Team titles next week against the Guns. Very interesting turn of events and development there. So then we had Konosuke Takeshita going up against Brian Cage. Konosuke Takeshita wins the match in roughly 8 minutes. So Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
3 stars for this effort. The match was further evidence of Takeshita's promise as a future star in AEW. The Japanese competitor had proven himself against top stars whose abilities meshed well with his own in-ring style, but we had rarely seen him fight from underneath against a traditional powerhouse like Brian Cage. That the machine is an uber athlete and can do things others his size cannot certainly added to their chemistry, but the match was evidence of Takeshita's ability to adapt to his opponent and deliver up to expectations that are already remarkably lofty given his age. Good stuff from both men who are suddenly surging early on in 2023. Takeshita delivered an impressive stalling German suplex, and the young star ducked a discus lariat and delivered a rolling elbow. Cage answered with that lariat moments later, but could not put Takeshita away. Solid 3 stars for this effort. Sleeper fight of the night for me. So not much more for me to say. Michael Bullock, big win for Takeshita.
Yeah, it was a big win for Konosuke Takeshita for him to beat someone like Brian Cage. I mean, that definitely is a nice win here for him. So yeah, 3 stars for me. I mean, definitely a good match and a big win for him. So it's yours, Fletch.
Like you said, 3 stars. Totally agree. I thought they did a very good job with it. Solid action, good fight. I got really nothing more to add here. So next up we had, right after that, well, it was only the one match that Anthony Florio was looking forward to. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson going up against Timothy Thatcher. Bryan Danielson winning the match in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Michael Bullock, you lead off.
Yeah, this was definitely a very good match here. I mean, this was everything what you expect when you got the technicality of both of these guys of Bryan Danielson and Timothy Thatcher. Man, oh man, this is, I don't know. This to me was about another. I'm going to give this another 4 stars. I mean, when you got two guys like these two in the ring, you know you're in for something really, really good with these two. And Bryan Danielson gave Timothy Thatcher all that he can handle, and now it's onward as Bryan Danielson continues on with his journey to basically get that match that he's been wanting, and that's a match, that Iron Man match against MJF at Revolution. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, I mean, Daniel Bryan continues to get one step closer to getting what he wants, and that's that match with MJF for the AEW World Title in that Iron Man match at Revolution.
And the road doesn't get any more easier for him because now he's got to fight Rush next week. And you know, like I said, you pretty much said it. This was about a 3-star fight, an excellent matchup. Back and forth this went. Good technical style wrestling, but when it was all said and done, Danielson continues the journey. He you know, like the rule states, he cannot lose a match. Or else he will not be able to get a shot at the title against MJF. So, you know, he's going to have to keep going, and the level of competition does not get any easier. So, great win for him, tremendous performance, and with that said, Anthony Florio, I give it to you. This was the one match that you were highly coveted, highly excited for. Did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, it did. No doubt. As far as ratings go, I agree with Bullock's rating on this one. This was a 4-star match. This was a gutsy performance by Bryan Danielson, who really sold the hell out of everything Timothy Thatcher threw at him and reinforced the idea that the win he desperately needed in order to continue his quest for an Iron Man match against MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship may not actually come. Thatcher looked like a beast, and the commentary team, red hot this week, put him over as a massive threat. There is no such thing as a bad Bryan Danielson match at this point, and the bout next week against Rush, announced after the commercial break, will not change that trend. It will be hard-pressed to eclipse what Danielson and Thatcher accomplished in this grueling physical encounter, though. One valid criticism, though, this was the second match in a row to end with the Boone Psycho running knee to the face. AEW coaches and producers really must get together to go over these finishes in order to prevent repetition. This is hardly the first time this has happened on an episode of Dynamite or Rampage. Excalibur, Taz, and Tony Schiavone did a phenomenal job of explaining to the audience who Timothy Thatcher is during his entrance, something AEW has been criticized for not doing enough of over the years. Thatcher unabashedly attacked the left arm of his opponent, looking to accomplish what Brian Cage failed to do on behalf of MJF last week. Danielson fought out of a superplex attempt twice at the expense of his injured left shoulder and rocked Thatcher with a missile dropkick. Danielson applied a rear naked choke, but Tony Schiavone suggested he could not get it fully applied due to the pain in his left arm. And the competitors bumped into referee Stephon Smith in the corner, a rare spot in AEW matches. MJF made an appearance attempting to take advantage of it, but Takeshita attacked from out of nowhere and fought him out of the arena. So 4 stars. I'm right there with Bullock on this one. Another one of the fights of the night for sure. Not quite the fight of the night, but it was still a very good match. Yeah, I kind of wanted a little more, but at least they gave him a respectable amount of time, so I can't complain too much. So
yeah,
solid 4 for me. I'm with Bullock on this one. MF, with all due respect, you underscored it a little bit. So with that, we move on now to the first of 2 championship title matches on this show tonight, and Jay Cargill, MF, with a chance for history.
Yes, she does. With a win that, you know, it would give her, I believe, 50 straight wins. So she would be the first AEW woman to get to 50. and she had to put the title on the line against Red Velvet, and lo and behold, Jade does it again. Jade Cargill winning the match 7 minutes and 15 seconds. She does get to the 50-win plateau and is still the TBS champion to boot on that as well. Look, solid performance, good matchup. Um, give credit where credit's due. That um, give credit where credit's due. That they did it that way. Like I said, solid performance. I just don't know who's going to be the one to dethrone her. I know there was rumors about maybe it being Mercedes Moné, but now she's not coming to AEW yet because she's got her IWGP Women's Title fight against Kyrie coming up very soon in about a couple of weeks now. At the Battle at the Valley in San Jose. So I mean, there's a lot going on right now that we're just gonna have to wait and see. But other than that, like I said, an unbelievable performance, a big victory and this was about maybe 2.5 stars. So Anthony, it's yours.
2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. Jade Cargill is a star who has grown and evolved before our very eyes, asked to be a star before she was really ready to do so from an in-ring perspective. She has excelled. The fact that she carries herself like the star AEW sees her as, helping exponentially. With that said, it is time for the company to do something different with her. The winning streak is great, and by no means does that have to end, but the formula is growing tired. Change things up. Put her on the defense. Let her wrestle the match from underneath rather than employing the same layout we have been exposed to for the last year. Eventually, audiences will grow tired of it, and no matter how magnetic or charismatic Cargill is, they will recognize the sameness. Cut it off before it adversely affects someone with the tools, presence, and look of one of AEW's building blocks of the future. Velvet unloaded on Cargill from the opening bell. Excalibur pointed out that this is the first match between Cargill and former baddie Velvet in over 14 months. A missed change in the corner allowed Velvet to deliver a backstabber. Kiera Hogan shoved Leela Gray into the ring steps and Velvet rocked Cargill with referee Aubrey Edwards distracted, though. She missed what would have been a Velvet title win. And then Cargill celebrated the win with her daughter after the match. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Not much more for me to say. So Michael Bullock, Jade Cargill makes history, 50-0 and counting for the TBS champ.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5 stars for me. I mean, yeah, the dominant reign of Jade Cargill continues. 50 wins for her, and this is why I said, and I'm going to continue to say it, that she is the most dominant women's wrestler right now in professional wrestling. I mean, I know there are going to be some people who might disagree with it, but I mean, look, 50-0. I mean, until somebody defeats her, my opinion is not going to change. So that's just how I feel. So 2.5 stars. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But one thing is for sure, uh, the sky's the limit for her, no doubt about it. All right, main event, no holds barred, TNT title on the line. Darby Allin versus the Ring of Honor Television Champion, which is Samoa Joe, winner of the bout, 16 minutes, 25 seconds, and new TNT champion, Samoa Joe, a double champion again. My goodness. Big victory. Anthony Florio, history made in Dayton, Ohio. Samoa Joe, 2-time TNT champion. But that moment of glory was short-lived because we had somebody else that is coming to the table. Wardlow, he's back.
Can
Nothing
you say
more to
Revolution?
say. Oh, yeah.
Enough said. All right. Like I said, this was between Hangman Moxley and this match. But I got to say, maybe this was slightly a smidgen better than Hangman and Mox, although that was great. I got to give this one by a smidge the fight of the night. This was 4.25, teetering on 4.5 stars. This was all sorts of great. Does AEW overdo blood? Hell yeah, absolutely. Are the hardcore matches overproduced with risks and stakes amplified far too often to the detriment of the wrestler's safety? Probably. In the right hands, though, they can be mighty effective, and that was the case here. Darby Allin, outmatched in just about every way by Joe, relied on his unpredictability and willingness to endure punishment if it means damaging his opponent. It did not work. Joe turned it against him and beat him. It was simple, effective, and hammered home the relentlessness of the Samoan submission machine. The impending rematch with Wardlow should be a hell of a brawl and makes for a solid secondary title bout for the Revolution pay-per-view event, if that is the direction Tony Khan chooses to head in. Hopefully beating Joe can rehabilitate Wardlow, who lost quite a bit of momentum between beating MJF at Double or Nothing last May and losing to Joe late in 2022. Where do I start? Darby Allin started the match by wearing a sweatshirt adorning hundreds of thumbtacks. Joe tossed the champion around the arena, down the stairs, and back into the ringside area. Cameras caught a look at Joe's busted-up face as the fight returned to the squared circle. Darby Allin mounted a comeback with a barrage of chops, but Joe tossed him over the top rope into the floor like a rag doll. Chants of "Joe's gonna kill you" filled the Nutter Center after the challenger dropped the TNT champ spine first on steel chairs. Allin delivered a coffin drop with a thumbtack-filled sweatshirt, but Joe kicked out at 2. Darby Allin exposed the wood of the ring. Joe dodged a dive to the floor, and Allin crashed into a table. Back inside, he used the sweatshirt, driving it in the champion's face. Fantastic match. This was the fight of the night by a smidge for me. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Fantastic, wild, hardcore brawl. No doubt about it. So, not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Samoa Joe regaining the TNT championship. The TNT championship that he lost to Darby Allin last month. He's got the belt back. And, well, next month, come March the 5th at AEW Revolution in San Fran at the Chase Center, Joe and Wardlow TNT championship, most likely.
Yeah, it's looking like that. I mean, now that Wardlow is back and he wants Joe in that TNT title, so we'll wait and see what happens. But 4.25, 4.5. This was the fight of the night, no doubt about it. I mean, everything they used. It was just really good. And yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 4.25, 4.5. Fight of the night honors, absolutely. Like you said, there's really nothing more to add. So overall review, and I believe this goes to Michael Bullock. So Bullock, it's yours, man. What did you think of AEW?
8.5 for me. This was a very good show. You only had one bad match, but everything else was solid to good. Maybe even a smidge above good. So, but yeah, a very good show. 8.5. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 8.5. Totally agreed. I think where you were going, Bullock, was from solid to good to great, because that's exactly what the show was tonight.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know what I was thinking there.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I don't mind helping you. Besides, I got you, bro. I know where you were going. And I totally 1000% agree with you. This was exactly what it was. From solid to good to great. It was absolutely correct. So, no, you don't got nothing to be ashamed of or nothing to worry about. We got you, man. It was a great main event. The whole show was solid. That Dayton crowd was lively the whole night. There was like a couple of moments where they sat on their hands, but I'm not going to fault them completely. But 8.5, absolutely correct. Anthony Floyer, it's yours.
8.5 for me as well. One bad match, but which was the acclaimed match. But other than that, all the other matches, like Bullock said, solid to good to great. Great storyline progression as we continue to build to Revolution. We got a month and change from that. So we bookended it with 2 instant classics, Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley to start it, and then that incredible TNT title hardcore brawl with Darby Allin and Samoa Joe, throwing some other solid to good to great matches on there. Bryan and Thatcher. I knew that was going to be all kinds of fun, and it was. And that's really all there was. And Takeshita and Brian Cage, they put on a solid big man fight there. And even the women's match, I mean, not too bad. So other than that one bad match, every match was solid to good to great. So another great AEW Dynamite, an enjoyable show that flew by. You couldn't tell it was 2 hours because it flew by so fast. It didn't feel like 2 hours.
Agreed.
That's why it's such a fun watch each and every week. And I know next week will be no different. So 8.5 for me. So with that, MF, take it home. And TXN Sports World just got a hell of a lot more interesting tomorrow night now, didn't it?
Oh yeah, well, like we said, it was going to be a pretty light docket, and then all of a sudden, within the last few days, the NFL started dropping some major announcements.
Boy, did they.
Brand new coach in Houston. Denver has a brand new coach, but we are going to jump it off. Well, obviously, first we got to give our respects and our bid adieu to one of the great commentators, one of the voices of March Madness, with Mr. Billy Packer, who unfortunately passing away over the week. But then we started out with a bombshell right out of the gate. You know what, guys? The GOAT has left the building, but this time it's legit. It's for real. It is official. Tom Brady retiring from the NFL. I know we did this song and dance once before, and then he came back about 40 days later. No, this time around, he even said it on his social media post. He is done. This time, we're going to wax poetic. We're going to give him his proper send-off into retirement. And we're going to pay a tribute to, I'll openly say it, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. And you could even make an argument, one of the greatest players in NFL history. So we'll do that tomorrow night, 10:30, hosted by Anthony Florio. TXN Sports World is going to be lit Friday night. Cerebral Smack Talk. We've been promoting it all night. We're going to do it SmackDown Live. The fallout from the Royal Rumble. Oh my God, is there going to be a lot of fallout from that? Of course, AEW Rampage. And we are previewing NXT. We're doing the NXT show. We're going to be previewing NXT Vengeance Day. And we're going to be doing it that way. So, as always, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom. Join everybody on the social media platform. And you know what? Before I do something, I never got to do this, but tonight, normally I don't do this very often, but I did promise someone that I was going to shout something out. So this is what I'm going to do. So tonight, as many of you guys, well, not many of you guys know, but of course, there's a lot of different things that is going down. And this, I wanted it to shout these guys out because I do believe that they deserve a shout out. All right. So tonight, I'm going to shout out NRG School of Pro Wrestling. This is actually in New Bedford, Massachusetts. And some of the guys who wrestles for RWA and they wrestle throughout New England, different promotions, Beyond Wrestling. And there's a wrestling school in New Bedford. And not only that, they're not just training for wrestlers. No. You want to become a referee? This is the place you want to go. You want to become a commentator, a broadcaster. You want to be like myself, like Anthony Floyo, like Michael Bullock. How we're doing podcasting, everything else. You want to learn the trade? You want to learn the business? You go to NRG School for Pro Wrestling in New Bedford. They do 2 classes a week, Monday nights, Wednesday nights. I want to give them a shout out because I've been seeing their posts, I've been seeing their stuff, and I want to give them this kind of plug on a platform like this here tonight on TXN, on Talking Wrestling TXN, that we got you guys. We respect the great job that you're doing. We hope you guys are having the success. So with that said, for Bullock, for Florio, I'm good old MF Michael Fletcher. So long, everybody, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night on TXN Sports World. Tone 25, YouTube, StreamYard.com, 10:30 Eastern. So long, everybody.
Goodbye.